Is this what you want? To live your life as a series of constant adjustments to an ever-present storm? Is this the legacy you've been building, the one where you are perpetually bracing yourself against a world that feels rigged, a universe that seems to be in a constant state of decay, a relentless drumbeat of scarcity and threat? Look around you. The news, the media, the daily conversations, they're all shouting the same thing. The sky is falling. The economy is crumbling. The planet is dying. And somewhere deep within the primal wiring of your brain, a tiny ancient voice whispers, "Be afraid. Be very, very afraid." This isn't just an external narrative. It's a survival instinct, a relic of a time when the rustle in the leaves could mean a predator and the empty larder could mean the end of winter. That instinct, the one that keeps us alive, can also keep us small. It can create a constant, suffocating focus on what's wrong. It's the voice that tells you not to start the business because the market is too competitive. It's the nagging feeling that you'll never find true love because everyone is too cynical. It's the perpetual analysis of every potential failure, every hidden risk, every crack in the foundation of your dreams. It's the default setting of the human condition, and it's a brilliant, beautiful, and profoundly crippling mechanism. But what if you could change the default? What if you could flip the switch from a life of mere survival to a life of creation? The world doesn't need another person who sees what's wrong. It needs someone who can see what's possible. The universe doesn't respond to your fear. It responds to your frequency. And right now, the frequency you are broadcasting is a signal of scarcity and struggle. The laws of the cosmos, the very fabric of existence, are not a moral judge. They are a mirror. What you project, you receive. What you believe, you become. This is not some mystical New Age whisper. This is a cold, hard, unassailable truth of the universe. It's the law of gravity for the human spirit. Think of it like a radio. You can't tune into a classical station if you're set to static. You have to turn the dial. You have to deliberately, consciously, and with unwavering focus, choose the signal you want to receive. And the signal of abundance, of possibility, of limitless potential is always on the air. You just have to tune in. But to do that, you have to do something radical. You have to silence the static, the constant stream of negativity from the news, from social media, from the naysayers in your life that is all static. And it's not just external noise. The most insidious static is internal. It's the voice that says, "I'm not good enough." The voice that says, "It's too late." The voice that says, "I don't deserve it." That voice is not the truth. It's a program, a deeply embedded, fear-based program that was installed in you before you even knew how to question it. Think about the great minds of history. Did they live their lives in a state of constant reactive fear? Did Thomas Edison spend his days lamenting the darkness, or did he spend them inventing the light bulb? Did Henry Ford dwell on the limitations of horse-drawn carriages, or did he envision a world of affordable automobiles? Did Walt Disney complain about the lack of magic in the world, or did he build an empire of it? They were not ignorant of the challenges. They were acutely aware of them, but they didn't allow the problems to define their perspective. They used the problems as a blueprint for their solutions. They looked at the world as it was and decided to build a world as it could be. And that is the fundamental shift. It's the difference between being a victim of your circumstances and being the architect of your destiny. Your mind is a garden. And every day, you are either planting seeds of weeds or seeds of possibility. The weeds, doubt, fear, cynicism, and comparison will grow on their own. They are the natural, uncultivated state of the mind. They require no effort to flourish, but the flower's clarity, vision, purpose, and abundance, they require conscious, deliberate cultivation. They need sunlight in the form of intentional thought. They need water in the form of unwavering belief. They need you to get your hands dirty and pull out the weeds the moment you see them sprout. This is the first step, the cultivation of the mind. The deliberate practice of feeding your focus with what you want to create, not what you want to avoid. You must become a ruthless gatekeeper of your own consciousness. You must guard your thoughts with the ferocity of a lioness protecting her cubs, because your thoughts are not just fleeting moments of mental chatter. They are the blueprints of your reality. They are the silent instructions you are giving to the universe. And the universe is listening. It is always listening. And so we must begin with a ruthless examination of what we truly believe, not what we say we believe, not what we hope we believe, but what we truly, deeply believe in the quiet corners of our soul. Because it is this belief system, this internal architecture of conviction, that determines the entire trajectory of your life. Do you believe you are worthy of success? Do you believe that you are capable of extraordinary things? Do you believe that the universe is a benevolent force that is conspiring in your favor? Or do you believe that you are a small boat on a chaotic ocean, perpetually at the mercy of the next great wave? Your belief system is not a static thing. It's a living, breathing program that can be rewritten. You can't just wish it into being. You have to reprogram it, line by line, thought by thought. And the way you do that is through conscious, deliberate, and relentless repetition. It's the same way you learn to walk, to talk, to read. You didn't just wake up one day knowing how to do it. You did it imperfectly, over and over again, until it became an ingrained, effortless part of who you are. The same is true for a belief in your own greatness. It's a skill you must practice, a muscle you must train. So let's start with the most fundamental and empowering belief of all, the belief in the power of your own mind, the belief that your thoughts are not just random electrical impulses, but a creative force, a tangible energy that shapes the world around you. You cannot build an empire on a foundation of doubt. You cannot climb a mountain while staring at the cracks in the rock. You must look up. You must see the summit. You must believe that you have the strength to get there. This is not a matter of positive thinking. This is a matter of strategic thinking. It's the difference between a child skipping through a meadow and a general planning a military campaign. A general doesn't just hope for victory. A general cultivates a vision of victory. They study the terrain. They analyze the enemy's strengths and weaknesses. They plan every move with a clear, unwavering certainty of the outcome. And you must become the general of your own life. You must plan your campaign with the same level of discipline and conviction. And the campaign begins with clarity, not a vague, wishy-washy desire for more, but a crystal clear, vivid, almost visceral vision of what you want. What does your perfect life look like? Not just the big picture stuff, but the small details. The texture of the floor in your dream home, the feeling of the steering wheel in your dream car, the sound of the laughter in the life you want to build. You have to see it so clearly that you can almost taste it. You have to make it more real in your mind than your current reality. This is not daydreaming. This is deliberate creation. It's the blueprint you are giving to the universe. And a bad blueprint leads to a shaky building. Think about the first time you learned how to use a GPS. You didn't just type in a vague address and hope for the best. You typed in a specific, detailed, precise location. And the GPS, in turn, gave you a clear step-by-step path to get there. Your mind is the same. It can't give you a clear path if you don't give it a clear destination. So let's get ruthlessly specific. Sit down with a blank sheet of paper and a pen, not a keyboard. There is a power in the physical act of writing, of transcribing the thoughts from your mind into the tangible world. And write down in excruciating detail the life you want to build. Write about your career, your relationships, your health, your finances, your spiritual life. Write it as if it has already happened. Use present tense language. I am, I have, I feel. This is a profound act of spiritual and mental engineering. You are not just writing a list. You are sending a signal. You are broadcasting a frequency. You are telling the universe, and more importantly, telling yourself what you are willing to accept. And once you have that clarity, you must protect it. The world will try to blur your vision. People will tell you it's impossible. that you're being naive, that you should just be realistic. That word realistic is a cage. It's a convenient excuse for mediocrity. It's a concept invented by people who have given up on their own dreams and now want to make sure you give up on yours. You must become deaf to the noise. You must become a guardian of your own vision. This is where purpose comes in. Clarity is the what, but purpose is the why. And your purpose is not something you discover. It's something you create. It's the fire in your belly, the relentless pull that gets you out of bed on the days when everything feels heavy. It's the reason you can push through the inevitable setbacks, the failures, the moments of profound self-doubt. Your purpose is the fuel for your journey. But most people's purpose is a cheap, flimsy thing. It's an imitation. They want to be rich because they see rich people on social media. They want to be successful because they want the validation. They want the applause. But a purpose built on external validation is a house built on sand. The first storm will wash it away. Your purpose must be anchored in something deeper. It must be rooted in a genuine desire to serve, to create, to contribute. Think about Steve Jobs. His purpose wasn't to sell computers. His purpose was to change the way people interacted with technology, to put the power of creation into the hands of a new generation. Think about Martin Luther King Jr. His purpose wasn't to win a political argument. His purpose was to create a more just and equitable world. When your purpose is bigger than yourself, it becomes a source of infinite energy. It becomes a force that can move mountains. It transforms your work from a chore into a calling, from a job into a mission. And that is a fundamental shift in consciousness. When you are on a mission, you don't look for motivation, you are a source of it. But this mission, this purpose, requires a foundation of unwavering discipline. Discipline is not a punishment. It is a liberation. It is the ability to choose what you want most over what you want right now. It is the bridge between your grand vision and the grinding daily reality of getting there. Without discipline, your purpose is just a beautiful idea, a poem scribbled on a napkin that will never see the light of day. Discipline is the repeated, unglamorous act of showing up. It's the 2 hours you spend on your business plan when you'd rather be watching TV. It's the morning workout when your body is screaming for another hour of sleep. It's the difficult conversation you have with yourself when you feel like giving up. This is not about being perfect. It's about being persistent. It's about creating a series of small, consistent victories that compound over time into an unstoppable momentum. This is the law of compounding in action. Every small, disciplined act is like a single drop of water, and over time, those drops can carve a canyon. Think about a person who saves just $10 a day. It doesn't seem like much, but over 30 years, with the power of compounding interest, that small act of discipline can create a fortune. The same is true for your dreams. A few minutes of meditation each day, a few pages of a book each night, a few extra hours spent on a project each week. Each one is a small, seemingly insignificant act of discipline. But together, they create a force that is impossible to ignore. They create the momentum of a locomotive. This discipline is not born out of a desire for a short-term reward. It's born out of a deep-seated respect for the future version of yourself. It's an act of self-love, a promise you make to the person you are becoming. It's a commitment to your future self that you will do the hard, unglamorous work today so that they can live the extraordinary life tomorrow. But discipline without action is just an empty promise. You can have the clearest vision in the world, the deepest purpose, the most disciplined mindset, but if you don't take the first step, you will be left with nothing but a beautifully crafted fantasy. Action is the engine that drives the entire machine. It's the moment your thoughts become things. It's the translation of an idea into the physical world. The biggest obstacle to action is not a lack of knowledge. We have more information available to us today than any generation in human history. The biggest obstacle is the paralysis of perfectionism, the fear that if you can't do it perfectly, you shouldn't do it at all. This is a brilliant and insidious trick of the mind. It's a mechanism of self-sabotage that keeps you safely on the sidelines, where you can't be judged, where you can't fail, where you can't be hurt, but you can't learn to swim without getting in the water. You can't learn to fly without jumping off the cliff. Every great achievement in history began with a messy, imperfect, terrifying first step. The first computer was a giant, clunky machine that filled an entire room. The first car was a noisy, unreliable contraption that terrified horses. The first draft of a masterpiece is a tangled mess of ideas. And yet, the creators of those things did not wait for perfection. They took action. They learned along the way. They adjusted. They adapted. They built the plane while they were flying it. And you must do the same. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait for all the stars to align. Don't wait until you have all the information. Take a step, just one, and then another, and then another. The path will reveal itself as you walk it. The light will appear when you need it. But you have to move forward into the darkness with the faith that it will be there. This is not a blind, naive faith. It's a faith born from the knowledge that the universe is a system of cause and effect, that every action you take, no matter how small, sends a ripple through the fabric of reality, that every seed you plant has the potential to become a forest, that every decision you make is a vote for the person you are becoming, and you have to keep voting for the person you want to be until the person you are becoming and the person you are align. And as you move forward, you must remember the power of gratitude, not as a saccharine, feel-good emotion, but as a strategic tool, a lens through which you view the world. Gratitude is the antidote to the constant focus on what's wrong. It's the act of deliberately shifting your focus from what you lack to what you have. It's the recognition that every moment, no matter how small, is a gift. When you are grateful, you are broadcasting a signal of abundance. You are telling the universe that you are already rich, that you are already blessed, that you are already living a life of extraordinary opportunity. And the universe, in turn, will respond by giving you more of what you are grateful for. It's the law of attraction in its purest form. You attract what you are, not what you want, and a grateful person is an attractive person. Think about a farmer. A farmer doesn't complain about the lack of rain. He is grateful for the soil. He doesn't complain about the long hours. He is grateful for the seed. He doesn't complain about the weeds. He is grateful for the chance to cultivate. And it is this mindset, this relentless focus on what is possible, that allows him to reap a harvest. You must become a farmer of your own life. You must tend to your dreams with the same level of care and gratitude. And you must be grateful for the process, not just the outcome. Be grateful for the setbacks, for they are lessons in disguise. Be grateful for the failures, for they are the foundation of future triumphs. Be grateful for the difficult people, for they are the friction that hones your character. This gratitude must also extend to your own journey. Be grateful for the person you are today, for the wisdom you have gained, for the battles you have fought, for the scars you have earned. Every single one of them is a testament to your resilience. Every single one is a story of survival, a testament to your ability to withstand the storms. And you must embrace those stories. You must own them. You must see them not as a collection of wounds, but as a collection of triumphs. Because resilience is not just the ability to bounce back. It's the ability to grow from the setback. It's the ability to turn a crisis into an opportunity. It's the ability to get knocked down, and instead of just getting back up, to get up stronger, wiser, and more determined than before. Think about a tree in the wind. A fragile sapling might snap, but a great oak, with its deep roots and flexible branches, will bend and groan and sway, but it will not break. And when the storm passes, it will be even more deeply rooted than before. You must become the oak. You must cultivate roots of unwavering belief and a trunk of unshakable purpose. And you must learn to bend in the wind of life's challenges, because challenges will come. That is a certainty. The world is not a playground, it is a proving ground. And the universe is not just conspiring to give you what you want, it is conspiring to make you stronger. Every single challenge you have ever faced was an opportunity in disguise. Every closed door was a redirection. Every no was a lesson. Every heartbreak was a clearing of space for something better. And you must begin to see them as such. You must stop seeing life as a series of obstacles to be overcome and start seeing it as a series of opportunities to be seized. This is the path of the master creator. This is the path of the relentless visionary. It is a path that requires you to abandon the comfort of the known for the exhilarating terror of the unknown. It requires you to stop asking for permission and start giving yourself authority. It requires you to stop seeking validation from the outside world and start finding it from the inside. And this path, this journey, is a process of constant learning. The moment you think you have it all figured out, the moment you stop asking questions, the moment you stop seeking new knowledge, is the moment you begin to stagnate. The world is changing at an exponential rate. The skills that were valuable yesterday might be obsolete tomorrow. And the only way to stay ahead of the curve is to become a perpetual student. Think about the great minds of history. They were not just doers, they were learners. Edison, with his thousands of patents, was constantly experimenting, constantly failing, constantly learning from his failures. Leonardo da Vinci was not just a painter. He was an anatomist, an engineer, a scientist. He saw the world as a classroom, and he was an eternal student. And you must adopt the same mindset. You must become a voracious consumer of knowledge. Read books, listen to podcasts, take courses, talk to people who know more than you do. Seek out mentors. And don't just consume information, synthesize it. Connect the dots. Look for the patterns. See the big picture. Because the greatest breakthroughs do not come from a single brilliant idea. They come from the fusion of seemingly unrelated ideas into a new and powerful whole. This is the power of a multidisciplinary mind. It's the ability to see the world from 100 different angles. It's the ability to take a lesson from biology and apply it to business. It's the ability to take an insight from history and apply it to your personal life. It's the ability to be a generalist in a world of specialists. Because while the specialists are building the parts, the generalists are building the machine. And as you learn, you must also be willing to unlearn. You must be willing to let go of the beliefs, the assumptions, the habits that are no longer serving you. This is the most difficult part of the journey. It's easy to add new knowledge. It's terrifying to let go of old identities. But you cannot hold on to the past and expect to create a new future. You must be willing to burn the boats, to sever the ties, to step into the unknown with nothing but your vision and your courage. This is the final test. This is the moment of truth. Are you willing to die to who you were so that you can be reborn as who you are meant to be? Are you willing to let go of your fear-based identity, your scarcity mindset, your need for external validation, and embrace the limitless potential that lies within you? Because that potential is not a fantasy. It is not a myth. It is the very essence of who you are. It is the uncarved block, the unpainted canvas, the unwritten symphony of your life, and it is waiting for you to unleash it. It is waiting for you to stop adjusting to the storm and start creating the weather. It is waiting for you to stop surviving and start thriving. So, let's go back to the beginning. Is this what you want? To live your life as a series of constant adjustments? Or do you want to live your life as a series of conscious, deliberate, and powerful creations? The choice is yours. The universe is waiting for your answer, and your destiny is calling. It is time to answer the call. It is time to step out of the shadows and into the light. It is time to stop waiting for your life to begin and start creating the life you were always meant to live. The world is not a place to be survived. It is a world to be created. And you alone are the creator. Now go. This survival instinct can create a constant focus on what's wrong. Isn't it incredible how our minds, the most powerful instruments in the known universe, can be so meticulously, so ruthlessly trained for failure? Think about it. We are born with a deep-seated survival instinct, a reptilian brain that's always scanning the horizon for predators, for threats, for what's wrong. For millennia, this was our evolutionary advantage. The caveman who was too optimistic, who failed to notice the rustle in the bushes or the shadow on the cave wall, became a cautionary tale etched in bone. His caution, or lack thereof, meant the difference between life and death, between a future for his tribe and a dark, swift end. But you are no longer in that cave. The predators of the modern world do not hunt in packs of 3. They hunt in your mind. They whisper doubt in the quiet hours of the night. They prey on your fears of not being enough, of not having enough, of not doing enough. They are the constant notification alerts, the endless scroll of someone else's highlight reel, the comparison trap that chokes the life out of your unique ambition. And yet, that same primitive survival instinct, that ancient neurological wiring, is still hypervigilant. It's still looking for what's wrong. It's still preparing you for a fight that will never come, a flight you will never take. It sees a minor setback and screams failure. It sees an opportunity and whispers risk. This survival instinct, this perpetual focus on what's wrong, has created a constant state of internal emergency. It's why you can have 1,000 good things happen to you in a single day, but the one small thing that goes wrong is all you can think about. It's why the average person is an expert at identifying problems, but a novice at creating solutions. They've been trained for it. They've been conditioned to be reactive, not proactive, to retreat, not advance. And this is the silent, insidious truth that separates the dreamers from the builders, the wannabes from the unstoppable. The man who truly succeeds, the one who builds empires like Carnegie, who electrifies the world like Edison, who defines a new era of mobility like Ford, he isn't ignoring the rustle in the bushes. He's not naive, he has simply reprogrammed his mind. He has consciously overridden that ancient fear response. He has taken the wheel from his reptilian brain and put his prefrontal cortex in the driver's seat. He has learned to hunt his own thoughts. He understands that the most dangerous enemy is not the market, not the competition, not the economy. It is his own mind, left to its own devices, left to its primal programming. You have been handed a mind built for scarcity in a world of abundance, a mind built for survival in an age of creation, a mind built for defense when offense is the only way to win. So, the first and most critical step is not to learn, not to plan, not to act. It is to unlearn. It is to stop the subconscious sabotage. It is to consciously, deliberately dismantle the internal operating system that has been running on the programming of fear and lack for your entire life. This is the true starting point of all achievement. Not a single idea, not a single plan, not a single piece of action will ever come to fruition if you do not first conquer the self. Think of it as a great spiritual and psychological battle. The battlefield isn't the stock market floor, or the boardroom, or the factory line. The battlefield is the space between your ears. And in this battle, there are no draws. You either master your mind, or your mind masters you. I spent a lifetime chronicling the lives of the titans who came before us, Carnegie, Ford, Edison. And he found a common thread that wove through every single one of their stories. It wasn't genius. It wasn't luck. It was a conscious, unwavering mastery of their own minds. They didn't just have a burning desire. They had an unshakable belief that they could achieve it. And they knew, with the certainty of a man who has seen his own future, that the outer world is always, without exception, a reflection of the inner world. The problem for most people is they have outsourced their belief. They believe what the nightly news tells them. They believe what the algorithms feed them. They believe what the chorus of critics on social media shouts at them. They believe what their friends, their family, their colleagues, the people who have already given up tell them is possible. And here is the raw, unvarnished truth. Belief is not a passive act. It is not something you hope for or wish for. Belief is a conscious, active decision. It is an act of will. It is a declaration, a fundamental truth you have decided to live your life by, regardless of the evidence to the contrary. When Edison was failing 0 times to create the light bulb, the evidence was overwhelming. The entire world was telling him it was impossible. Every failed attempt was a physical, tangible fact, screaming failure. But he did not outsource his belief to those facts. He did not let the outside world dictate his inner truth. He said, I have not failed. I've just found 10 ways it won't work. That is not just a clever quote. That is a philosophical declaration. It is the core operating system of a mind that has decided to believe in something bigger than its circumstances. It is a mindset that has taken the old fear-based programming and thrown it into the fire. Most people wait for evidence before they believe. They say, show me the money, and then I'll believe I can be wealthy. Give me the promotion, and then I'll believe I'm capable. But the laws of the universe and the laws of human achievement do not work that way. The truth is, you must believe first. You must hold the unwavering conviction in your mind before the physical reality can ever begin to take shape. This isn't some abstract spiritual nonsense. It is a practical scientific principle of mind. Your brain, your subconscious mind, is a goal-seeking mechanism. It is a supercomputer that works tirelessly to bring your dominant thoughts to life. But it cannot distinguish between a thought born of fear and a thought born of desire. It simply seeks to create what it is programmed to. So when your dominant thought is a fear of poverty, a fear of failure, a fear of what others will think, your subconscious mind goes to work. It starts looking for evidence. It starts creating circumstances. It starts aligning you with the people and events that will bring that fear to life. It is doing its job. It is serving its master. And what most people fail to realize is that they are feeding their mind garbage and then wondering why their life is a landfill. You have to starve your fears and feed your faith. You have to treat your mind like the most fertile ground on earth. You cannot sow seeds of doubt and expect to reap a harvest of abundance. You must plant the seeds of definiteness, of purpose. This is not a vague wish or a fuzzy dream. This is a clear, precise, and emotionally charged blueprint for your life. It is the one single dominant purpose that you will build everything else around. The kind of purpose that makes you say, I will do this, or I will die trying. That the Andrew Carnegie didn't just say, I want to be rich. He had a definite purpose to dominate the steel industry and become the wealthiest man on earth. He didn't just hope for it. He created a specific plan, a mastermind alliance of the brightest minds he could find, and he pursued it with a burning obsession that consumed his every waking thought. When you have this level of clarity, your mind becomes a laser, not a floodlight. It cuts through the noise, the distraction, the endless stream of opportunities that aren't for you. It simplifies your life down to a single essential question. Does this get me closer to my definite purpose, or does it take me away from it? And for most people, the answer is always the latter. They are living a life of perpetual drift, chasing shiny objects, getting distracted by the urgent instead of focusing on the important. They are building a house of cards brick by brick with no definite architectural plan. And then they wonder why it all comes crashing down at the slightest gust of wind. Your purpose is your North Star. It is the reason you get up in the morning, the reason you endure the setbacks, the reason you continue to fight when every logical part of your mind tells you to quit. Without it, you are just a ship without a rudder, a wanderer lost in the wilderness, a casualty of your own indecision. This isn't about finding a passion. Passion is a byproduct of purpose, not the other way around. You don't wait for a feeling to hit you. You make a decision, you declare your purpose, and the passion follows. It is the fire that ignites when you take the first step in a definite direction. So, what is your purpose? What is the one thing you are willing to die for, metaphorically speaking? The one thing that if you achieved it would make your life feel complete? Don't worry about the how. That's not your job yet. Your only job right now is to declare the what. And then you must commit to it with a ferocity that borders on the fanatical. This is where the idea of a mastermind alliance comes into play. You cannot do this alone. No one in history has ever built an empire by themselves. Not Carnegie, not Edison, not Ford. Every single one of them understood the power of a collective mind, a group of like-minded individuals with a common goal. They knew that the energy created by two or more minds working in perfect harmony is greater than the sum of its parts. It creates a kind of psychic synergy, an exponential force that can move mountains. Most people, however, are surrounded by a council of critics. Their friends, their family, the people they spend the most time with, they are all often unconsciously pulling them down to their level. They are the ones who say, be realistic. Don't get your hopes up. You're not like those people. They are the gravitational pull of mediocrity, the silent killers of dreams. You must be ruthless about who you let into your inner circle. Your network is your net worth, not just financially, but psychologically and spiritually. Are the people closest to you lifting you up or dragging you down? Are they supporting your vision, or are they subtly, or not so subtly, sabotaging it? This isn't about cutting people off. It is about being deliberate. It is about understanding that your mind is a garden, and you must be the gatekeeper. You must decide which seeds you allow to be planted there. And if someone is constantly planting weeds of doubt and fear, you must politely but firmly close the gate. This is the hard, cold truth of success. It is not for the faint of heart. It requires a level of conviction, a level of selfishness, of taking care of your own mental and spiritual well-being that most people are not willing to pay. And this leads us to the most difficult part of the process, the part that separates the inspired from the obsessed, disciplined action. Discipline is the bridge between a dream and its reality. It is the unsexy, unromantic work that no one wants to do. It's the late nights, the early mornings, the saying no to 1,000 distractions so you can say yes to your definite purpose. It is the act of doing what you said you would do long after the feeling of wanting to do it has left. We live in a world that sells us a lie. It sells us a lie that success is instant, that wealth is just one viral post away, that fulfillment is a product you can buy off a shelf. It sells us the fantasy of the overnight sensation, the lottery winner, the effortless victory. But the truth is, every single person you admire, every single person you look up to, has paid the price in full. Walt Disney didn't just wake up one day and create Disneyland. He faced bankruptcy, ridicule, and 1,000 closed doors. He lost the rights to his first cartoon character, Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, because of a vicious contract negotiation. He could have quit. He could have been a cautionary tale, but he didn't. He went back to the drawing board, and in the ashes of that defeat, he created Mickey Mouse, a character that would become the cornerstone of a global empire. His success was not an act of magic. It was an act of relentless, disciplined, day after day, year after year action. He built his kingdom brick by brick, sketch by sketch, film by film. The difference between the two men, the man who succeeds and the man who gives up, is not talent, it is not intelligence. It is a simple, brutal, and beautiful truth. One man kept going and the other man didn't. And the only thing that will keep you going when the rest of the world has given up is a deep, unwavering purpose. It is a why so strong that it can withstand any how. It is a fire so hot that it will melt the fear and doubt that lives in your mind, the same fear and doubt that will inevitably come for you. When Lincoln lost election after election, when he faced repeated personal and professional failures, what kept him going? It wasn't ego. It was a definite purpose, a burning conviction that the Union of the United States must be preserved. That single purpose was the iron rod that kept him standing when everything else had been reduced to ash. It was the unwavering fire that eventually led him to the presidency and to the abolition of slavery. His greatness was forged in the furnace of his suffering, but his purpose was the fuel. Most people quit not because the work is too hard, but because they have forgotten their purpose. They are swinging a hammer in the dark with no blueprint, no vision, no understanding of the structure they are trying to build. And so the moment the first hammer blow feels heavy, they stop. You must never, ever lose sight of your purpose. You must write it down, and you must read it every single morning and every single night. You must visualize it, feel it, taste it. You must make it a part of your psychological and spiritual DNA. You must make it the last thing you think about before you fall asleep and the first thing that awakens you in the morning. This is not a suggestion. It is a command. Your life depends on it. And as you begin to take action, as you begin to build momentum, you will encounter the inevitable, the setbacks, the failures, the moments that test your faith and your conviction. You will hit a wall, and that wall will look impenetrable. It will look like a brick wall, and it will feel like the end of the road. This is the true moment of truth. This is the moment when the average person retreats, rebuilds their mental cage, and goes back to a life of quiet desperation. This is the moment when they convince themselves that their dreams were too big, that the world is against them, that they were a fool for even trying. But the master, the true builder, understands that this wall is not a sign to quit. It is a signal. It is a message. It is the universe telling him that his current plan is not sound, that his current approach is not working, that he must adapt or die. The average person sees a temporary defeat and calls it a permanent failure. The successful person sees a temporary defeat and calls it a data point. They don't get emotional about it. They don't take it personally. They don't allow their reptilian brain to convince them that the rustle in the bushes is a sign of certain death. Instead, they look at the data. They analyze the failure. They ask, what did I do wrong? What can I learn from this? How can I rebuild this plan to be stronger, faster, more effective? This is the power of adaptability. The world is not a static place. The market changes. The technology evolves. The rules of the game are constantly being rewritten. The person who is too rigid, too attached to their first plan, will be left behind. They will become a dinosaur, a relic of a bygone era. Look at the titans of industry. When the horse-drawn carriage was king, Henry Ford built a car. When the telegraph was the pinnacle of communication, Thomas Edison created a new form of mass communication, the phonograph. They didn't just build a better mousetrap. They saw a new reality, and they built it. They were not just masters of their domain. They were masters of change, and they did it with a quiet, persistent resilience. Resilience is not just about bouncing back. It is about bouncing back stronger. It is the art of seeing every setback as a spiritual workout, every failure as an opportunity to build a new muscle, a new skill, a new level of understanding. It is the ability to take the crushing weight of a temporary defeat and turn it into the raw material for your next great victory. And this requires something that most people are completely lacking: intellectual humility. The ability to say, I don't know, I was wrong, my plan was flawed, I need to learn more. We live in an age of certainty, where everyone has an opinion and no one wants to be wrong. But the most powerful minds in history were not the ones who were always right. They were the ones who were the most eager to learn, the ones who were willing to admit their ignorance, the ones who saw the world as a vast library and themselves as eternal students. This is the essence of true continuous learning. It is not about getting a degree and stopping. It is about seeing your entire life as a classroom. It is about reading books, listening to podcasts, taking courses, and seeking out mentors. It is about being so hungry for knowledge that you treat every conversation, every failure, every unexpected turn as a chance to learn something new. It is about understanding that the moment you stop learning, you start dying. You become stagnant, brittle, and unable to adapt. The world will pass you by, not because it is moving too fast, but because you are standing still. And this brings us back to the beginning, to the very first principle, to the mind. The person who has mastered his own mind who has learned to hunt his thoughts, to reprogram his internal operating system, is the one who understands the power of gratitude. Gratitude is not a spiritual platitude. It is a powerful mental tool. It is the antidote to the reptilian brain's constant focus on what's wrong. It is the conscious decision to see the abundance, to appreciate the good, to acknowledge the progress, no matter how small. The person who is grateful for what they have is not complacent. They are not satisfied. They are simply powerful. They are operating from a place of abundance, not lack. They are attracting more of what they have, not more of what they are afraid of losing. This is not a lie you tell yourself. It is a truth you decide to live. This is not a New Age fantasy. This is a scientific principle. The brain can only hold one dominant thought at a time. It cannot be grateful and fearful at the exact same moment. So when you choose to focus on gratitude, you are actively, physically, and spiritually pushing fear out of your mind. You are reclaiming the territory that was once occupied by the enemy. This is the final key, the ultimate mastery, the ability to exist in a state of grace, even in the midst of a storm, to find the opportunity in every adversity, the lesson in every failure, the seed of a greater benefit in every heartbreak. This is not an easy road. It is the hardest road their island. It is the road less traveled. It is a path that will force you to face yourself, to dismantle your old beliefs, to build a new identity from the ground up. But this is your journey. This is your destiny. You were not put on this earth to simply survive. You were put here to live, to build, to create, to leave your mark, to become a monument to what is possible when a man or a woman takes full possession of their own mind. The world is waiting for you. It is waiting for the person who has decided to stop being a victim of their circumstances and start being the master of their destiny. It is waiting for the one who has decided to stop reacting to what's wrong and start creating what's right. The choice is yours. The work is yours. The victory is yours to claim. Do not let another day pass by while your mind, your greatest asset, is still running on the old, broken, fear-based programming. Take control. Start today. And never, ever stop. And as you begin to take action, as you begin to build momentum, you will encounter the inevitable, the setbacks, the failures, the moments that test your faith and your conviction. You will hit a wall, and that wall will look impenetrable. It will look like a brick wall, and it will feel like the end of the road. This is the true moment of truth. This is the moment when the average person retreats, rebuilds their mental cage, and goes back to a life of quiet desperation. This is the moment when they convince themselves that their dreams were too big, that the world is against them, that they were a fool for even trying. But the master, the true builder, understands that this wall is not a sign to quit. It is a signal. It is a message. It is the universe telling him that his current plan is not sound, that his current approach is not working, that he must adapt or die. The average person sees a temporary defeat and calls it a permanent failure. The successful person sees a temporary defeat and calls it a data point. They don't get emotional about it. They don't take it personally. They don't allow their reptilian brain to convince them that the rustle in the bushes is a sign of certain death. Instead, they look at the data. They analyze the failure. They ask, what did I do wrong? What can I learn from this? How can I rebuild this plan to be stronger, faster, more effective? This is the power of adaptability. The world is not a static place. The market changes. The technology evolves. The rules of the game are constantly being rewritten. The person who is too rigid, too attached to their first plan, will be left behind. They will become a dinosaur, a relic of a bygone era. Look at the titans of industry. When the horse-drawn carriage was king, Henry Ford built a car. When the telegraph was the pinnacle of communication, Thomas Edison created a new form of mass communication, the phonograph. They didn't just build a better mousetrap. They saw a new reality, and they built it. They were not just masters of their domain, they were masters of change. And they did it with a quiet, persistent resilience. Resilience is not just about bouncing back. It is about bouncing back stronger. It is the art of seeing every setback as a spiritual workout, every failure as an opportunity to build a new muscle, a new skill, a new level of understanding. It is the ability to take the crushing weight of a temporary defeat and turn it into the raw material for your next great victory. And this requires something that most people are completely lacking: intellectual humility. The ability to say, I don't know, I was wrong, my plan was flawed, I need to learn more. We live in an age of certainty, where everyone has an opinion and no one wants to be wrong. But the most powerful minds in history were not the ones who were always right. They were the ones who were the most eager to learn, the ones who were willing to admit their ignorance, the ones who saw the world as a vast library and themselves as eternal students. This is the essence of true continuous learning. It is not about getting a degree and stopping. It is about seeing your entire life as a classroom. It is about reading books, listening to podcasts, taking courses, and seeking out mentors. It is about being so hungry for knowledge that you treat every conversation, every failure, every unexpected turn as a chance to learn something new. It is about understanding that the moment you stop learning, you start dying. You become stagnant, brittle, and unable to adapt. The world will pass you by, not because it is moving too fast, but because you are standing still. And this brings us back to the beginning, to the very first principle, to the mind. The person who has mastered his own mind, who has learned to hunt his thoughts, to reprogram his internal operating system, is the one who understands the power of gratitude. Gratitude is not a spiritual platitude. It is a powerful mental tool. It is the antidote to the reptilian brain's constant focus on what's wrong. It is the conscious decision to see the abundance, to appreciate the good, to acknowledge the progress, no matter how small. The person who is grateful for what they have is not complacent. They are not satisfied. They are simply powerful. They are operating from a place of abundance, not lack. They are attracting more of what they have, not more of what they are afraid of losing. This is not a lie you tell yourself. It is a truth you decide to live. This is not a New Age fantasy. This is a scientific principle. The brain can only hold one dominant thought at a time. It cannot be grateful and fearful at the exact same moment. So when you choose to focus on gratitude, you are actively, physically, and spiritually pushing fear out of your mind. You are reclaiming the territory that was once occupied by the enemy. This is the final key, the ultimate mastery, the ability to exist in a state of grace, even in the midst of a storm. To find the opportunity in every adversity, the lesson in every failure, the seed of a greater benefit in every heartbreak. This is not an easy road. It is the hardest road their island. It is the road less traveled. It is a path that will force you to face yourself, to dismantle your old beliefs, to build a new identity from the ground up. But this is your journey. This is your destiny. You were not put on this earth to simply survive. You were put here to live, to build, to create, to leave your mark, to become a monument to what is possible when a man or a woman takes full possession of their own mind. The world is waiting for you. It is waiting for the person who has decided to stop being a victim of their circumstances and start being the master of their destiny. It is waiting for the one who has decided to stop reacting to what's wrong and start creating what's right. The choice is yours. The work is yours. The victory is yours to claim. Do not let another day pass by while your mind, your greatest asset, is still running on the old, broken, fear-based programming. Take control. Start today. And never, ever stop. How often do you wake up with a feeling of dread, a low-grade hum of anxiety thrumming in the background of your consciousness? Do you find yourself constantly scanning the horizon, not for opportunity, but for danger, for the next thing that might go wrong? This survival instinct a relic from the age of saber-toothed cats and foraging for the next meal, is a powerful force. It's the whisper in your mind that says, be careful, the world is a dangerous place. Don't take a risk. It is the primitive core of your being, a guardian that was once your greatest asset, but in this modern age, it can become your heaviest anchor. It can create a constant, debilitating focus on what's wrong. Look at the narrative of your life. Is it a story of what you're trying to build, or is it a continuous, exhausting battle against what you're trying to avoid? The mind, a fertile ground of infinite potential, cannot simultaneously focus on growth and fear. It is a one-lane highway. When your gaze is fixed on the potholes and cracks in the road ahead, you cannot possibly see the vista unfolding on the horizon. When your mental energy is consumed by the fear of failure, there is no energy left for the creation of success. This is not some abstract spiritual platitude. This is the iron law of the human mind, a principle as immutable as gravity. Think of the men who shaped our world, the titans of industry and innovation. Did they do so by obsessing over what could go wrong? Was Thomas Edison's focus on the millions of ways a light bulb wouldn't work, or was it on the singular blinding possibility of bringing light to the world? He famously stated he didn't fail 10 0 times. He simply found 10 0 ways that wouldn't work. His mind wasn't a fortress of what-ifs and worst-case scenarios. It was a laboratory of relentless curiosity and unwavering purpose. His vision was a lighthouse, not a storm shelter. Consider Henry Ford, a man who, in a world dominated by horses and buggies, dared to dream of a motor vehicle for every family. The sheer logistical and financial risks were staggering. The collective voice of his era likely told him it couldn't be done, that the technology was too complex, the cost too high, the demand non-existent. But his mind was not occupied with the millions of reasons for failure. It was laser-focused on one singular vision: mass production, the assembly line, and the liberation of the common person through personal transport. He saw a future that didn't exist, and instead of cowering from the risk, he built a bridge to it, one rivet, one engine, one car at a time. This constant, almost involuntary, focus on what's wrong is a slow poison. It doesn't kill you outright, but it paralyzes you. It drains your ambition, erodes your courage, and shackles your potential. It's the invisible chain that keeps you in a job you hate, in a relationship that has long since gone cold, and on a path that is anything but your own. This fear, this constant scanning for negativity, is not a shield. It is a self-imposed prison, a cage you've built with your own worst thoughts and darkest anxieties. So the first, most fundamental step toward any real lasting success is to recognize this habit of mind for what it island, to see the survival instinct not as a guiding star, but as a potential saboteur. You must understand that the world you see is a direct reflection of the world you choose to look for. If you seek out problems, you will find them in abundance. If you seek out obstacles, they will rise up to meet you at every turn. But if you choose to seek out possibility, if you train your mind to see solutions, to find opportunity in the face of adversity, then the world itself begins to bend to your will. This is not a passive act. It requires intention, discipline, and a ruthless commitment to self-awareness. It means catching yourself in the act of negative thinking and consciously, deliberately reframing your perspective. It means asking yourself in every moment of doubt, is this thought serving me or is it imprisoning me? The answer will always be brutally honest. And when it tells you that the thought is a cage, you must find the key and you must unlock it. The key, in its simplest form, is a decision to turn your mind's eye from the darkness and toward the light, from the problem and toward the solution. It is the decision to stop asking, what if it all goes wrong? And instead start asking, what if it all goes right? This is where the journey truly begins. The second you make that conscious pivot, you open a floodgate of power that has been dormant inside you. You move from a reactive state to a creative one. You are no longer a victim of circumstance, but a conscious architect of your own destiny. The journey from average to extraordinary isn't marked by a sudden miraculous event. It is built brick by brick by a million tiny deliberate acts of courage. And the very first of these acts is to decide that your focus will be on the construction of your future, not the deconstruction of your fears. This is the first, most critical lesson of all. Without it, every other step is just an exercise in futility. It is the foundation upon which every great accomplishment is built. It is the unwavering conviction that what you seek to create is more powerful than what you fear. And it is in this conviction that you will find the unshakable bedrock of your purpose. This is the very essence of a mastermind. Not a gathering of great intellects, but a confluence of great minds united by a single purpose. Think of the symbiotic relationship between Andrew Carnegie and myself. Carnegie, the titan of steel, provided the raw material, his vast accumulated knowledge of success and failure. Hill, the relentless seeker, provided the focus, the curiosity, the disciplined mind to forge that raw material into a timeless philosophy. The synergy between them was not a coincidence. It was the result of a conscious decision to focus on what was possible, to look beyond the immediate obstacles and see a grander vision. Carnegie didn't just tell Hill how to make money. He showed him how to think about success, how to harness the very power of the mind to bend reality to your will. He knew that the first step to building a steel empire wasn't in the furnace, but in the mind of the man who dared to dream it. And this principle extends far beyond the realm of business. It is the cornerstone of every great achievement, from the artistic to the scientific. Look at Walt Disney, a man who faced bankruptcy, rejection, and ridicule. His early studio, Reprogram, went bust. His first major character, Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, was stolen from him. The world, in its cynical wisdom, would have told him to give up, to take a safe job, to abandon the fool's errand of animation. But his mind was not focused on the closure of his old company. It was focused on the creation of a new one. It was not fixated on the loss of Oswald, but on the birth of a mouse with 2 big ears and an even bigger personality. He didn't see failure. He saw a temporary setback on the road to a far greater destination. His purpose was not just to make cartoons. It was to create worlds, to build an empire of imagination that would stand the test of time. He didn't just build Disneyland, he willed it into existence, a physical manifestation of an idea so vivid in his mind, it simply had to become real. This unwavering focus, this single-minded obsession with a chosen purpose, is the raw fuel of achievement. But it is not a blind, foolish optimism. It is not ignoring the challenges. It is simply a refusal to be defined by them. A champion swimmer does not ignore the resistance of the water. He understands it, he works with it, and he uses it to propel himself forward. An eagle does not fight the wind. It soars on it, using the very force that would defeat a lesser bird to lift it to new heights. The obstacles in your life are not meant to stop you. They are meant to reveal your true strength. They are the friction that forges your character, the crucible in which your conviction is tested and solidified. And this brings us to the next critical component, the power of belief. A belief is not a wish. A wish is passive, a fleeting thought offered up to the universe with no real expectation. A belief is a conviction so deeply ingrained in your subconscious that it becomes a non-negotiable truth. It is the internal compass that guides your every action, your every thought, your every decision. You can wish for a new job, but unless you truly believe you are capable and worthy of that job, you will not put in the effort, you will not take the risk, and you will not have the resilience to overcome the inevitable setbacks. Your mind, in its infinite wisdom, will always seek to align your reality with your deepest beliefs. If you believe you are a failure, you will find a way to fail. If you believe you are an imposter, you will find a way to sabotage your own success. But if you truly, fundamentally believe that you are destined for greatness, that you are a person of value, that you are worthy of success, then the universe will begin to conspire on your behalf. Doors will open, opportunities will appear, and people will be drawn to your magnetic conviction. Think of Abraham Lincoln, a man who faced more political and personal failure than most people could endure in 10 lifetimes. He lost his job, he failed in business, he lost 8 elections, and he suffered through the deaths of loved ones. The narrative of his life could easily have been one of perpetual failure, but he never stopped. He never truly believed he was a failure. His belief was in a higher purpose, in the preservation of a nation, and in the fundamental truth of human equality. His relentless pursuit was not a fool's errand. It was the manifestation of a belief so powerful it ultimately saved the country. He did not ask for the job of president. He earned it. One defeat, one setback, and one unwavering step at a time. His belief was his bedrock, the foundation of a legacy that still stands a beacon of resilience and purpose. The journey to an extraordinary life is not about finding the perfect path. It's about building a perfect conviction. A conviction that you are enough, that your purpose is valid, and that your potential is limitless. It is the internal flame that no external wind of doubt or criticism can ever extinguish. The world will try to tell you who you are, what you are capable of, and what's your place island. It will offer you 1,000 reasons to stay small, to stay safe, to stay where you are. But you have a choice. You can either accept the world's definition of you, or you can forge your own, one fueled by the unshakable belief in your own power. This is the great work. This is the single most important decision you will ever make. To believe in yourself is not a luxury. It is a fundamental necessity. It is the oxygen that your purpose breathes. But belief, while essential, is inert without a clear, specific, and compelling vision. Belief is the fuel, but vision is the destination. Without it, you are a ship with a powerful engine, but no rudder, drifting aimlessly on the sea of life, subject to every current, every storm, every passing tide. A vague desire to be successful or to be happy is not a vision. It is a wish. A vision is a vivid, detailed, and emotionally charged mental picture of your desired future. It is a blueprint of the life you intend to build. It's not enough to say you want to be wealthy. You must see it. You must see the numbers in your bank account, the feeling of financial freedom, the specific investments you've made, and the impact your wealth is creating. You must not just want a better life. You must be able to taste it, to feel it, to live it in your mind before it ever manifests in your reality. This is the principle of definite purpose. It's the central pillar of my philosophy, the one concept that underpins all others. A mind that lacks a definite purpose is a mind in chaos. It is susceptible to every distraction, every whim, every new shiny object that comes along. It's like trying to build a skyscraper without a blueprint. You lay a few bricks here, pour some concrete there, but you will never build anything of lasting value. Your energy will be dissipated, your focus will be scattered, and your progress will be non-existent. Look at the people who have changed the world. Did they start with a vague idea? Did Steve Jobs have a general sense of making cool stuff? No. He had a definite, almost fanatical vision of a computer that was not just a tool for engineers, but an instrument for artists and creators. He saw a phone that was not just for making calls, but a powerful, intuitive device that would fit in your pocket and change the way we interact with information and each other forever. He saw it so clearly, so vividly, that he could communicate that vision to others with an almost hypnotic intensity, compelling them to join him in a relentless pursuit of perfection. He didn't just build products, he built a world. And it all started with a crystal clear, non-negotiable vision. So what is your vision? What is your definite purpose? And be honest with yourself. Is it a vague, nebulous idea, or is it a detailed, emotionally compelling vision that pulls you out of bed in the morning? This is not an intellectual exercise. This is a soul-searching excavation. You must dig deep, past the noise and the expectations of others, to find the one thing that sets your soul on fire. The one thing you would pursue even if no one else believed in you. The one thing you would do for free. And once you find it, you must write it down. You must make it real. A thought in your head is just a thought. A thought written on paper is a commitment, a contract with yourself. It's a declaration of intent to the universe. Write it in the present tense, as if it has already happened. Use vivid, descriptive language. Read it aloud every day. Let the words sink into your subconscious so that they become a part of your very being. This is not a magical incantation. It is a form of self-programming. You are training your mind to focus on this one singular point, to align your every thought and action with this single purpose. This is the point where the mind, the belief, and the vision become a single, unstoppable force. Your mind, no longer scattered, is now focused on the vision. Your belief, now anchored in a specific purpose, becomes an unshakable conviction. And your vision, now crystal clear, becomes the undeniable lodestar guiding your every move. This is the first principle of applied success. You cannot hit a target you cannot see, and you cannot build a life you cannot first visualize. The mind, the belief, the vision, these are the mental and emotional foundations. But a foundation, no matter how strong, is just the beginning. The next and arguably most difficult component is purpose-driven action. This is where the rubber meets the road. This is where dreams are either forged into reality or left to dissipate like smoke. Many people have a strong mind, a solid belief, and a clear vision, but they fail to act. They become perpetual students, always reading, always learning, always preparing, but never doing. They are waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, the perfect sign from the universe. But the universe doesn't send signs. It presents opportunities. And opportunities are only valuable to those who are ready and willing to act. This is where the grand, my philosophical ideas become a gritty, day-to-day reality. This is not about one grand leap of faith. It's about 1,000 small, disciplined steps. It's about the relentless pursuit of your purpose, one day at a time. It's about doing the work even when you don't feel like it. It's about showing up even when the odds seem stacked against you. It's about the daily grind, the unsexy, unglamorous work that no one sees. This is where champions are made. Think of Michael Jordan. We celebrate his championships, his game-winning shots, his legendary status. But we don't often talk about the thousands of hours he spent in the gym, perfecting his craft. The early mornings, the late nights, the grueling practices. He didn't just have a vision of winning championships. He had a plan of action. He had a ruthless commitment to discipline. He didn't wait for inspiration. He showed up and did the work. His discipline was his armor. His consistency was his sword. He didn't just wish to be the best. He outworked everyone else until it was a foregone conclusion. This is the power of discipline. It is the bridge between your vision and your reality. It is the daily habit of doing what is necessary, even when it is difficult. It is the courage to say no to distractions, to instant gratification, to the temptation of ease. It is the quiet, consistent act of self-mastery. And it is the one thing that separates the dreamers from the doers. Discipline is not about punishment. It's about freedom. The freedom that comes from knowing you are in control of yourself, of your habits, and of your destiny. It is the freedom that comes from knowing that your success is not a matter of luck or circumstance, but a direct result of your own unwavering effort. When you master yourself, you master your world. So, what is your plan of action? What is the one thing you can do today, right now, to move one step closer to your vision? Is it to make that one difficult phone call? Is it to write that one page? Is it to learn that one skill? Do not wait. Do not overthink it. Do not look for the perfect moment. The perfect moment is now. The perfect plan is to start. And as you take those first steps, remember that perfection is the enemy of progress. You will make mistakes. You will stumble. You will fall. This is not a sign of failure. It is a sign of life. Every mistake is a lesson. Every setback is an opportunity to learn, to adapt, to grow. The master is not the one who never fails. The master is the one who learns more from his failures than his successes. This is the essence of resilience. The ability to bounce back, to get up one more time than you fall down. It's not about being strong. It's about being unbreakable. And you become unbreakable by understanding that your identity is not tied to your failures, but to your relentless pursuit of your purpose. This brings us to a crucial, often overlooked component of the journey to extraordinary success: gratitude. It might seem counterintuitive. When you're relentlessly pushing for more, how can you also be grateful for what you have? But this is not an either or proposition. It's a fundamental paradox. Gratitude is the soil in which all other virtues grow. It's the silent acknowledgement that the present moment, even with its challenges and imperfections, is a gift. It's the understanding that you are already an incredibly blessed person, simply by virtue of having the opportunity to pursue your purpose. A person who lacks gratitude is like a thirsty man standing in a river. He is surrounded by abundance, but he is too focused on what he doesn't have to see it. This scarcity mindset, this constant focus on what's missing, is a direct result of the survival instinct we talked about earlier. It's the belief that there's not enough to go around, that every success is a zero-sum game, and that you must constantly be on guard against what might be taken from you. This is a path to misery, regardless of how much you achieve. You will always feel like you are chasing, always running, always on the verge of losing it all. But when you cultivate gratitude, you shift your entire energetic frequency. You move from a state of lack to a state of abundance. You begin to see the world not as a battlefield of scarcity, but as a playground of infinite possibility. You become a magnet for good things, not because of some magical law of attraction, but because your mindset is open, expansive, and receptive. Gratitude opens your eyes to the opportunities that have always been there, hidden in plain sight. Think of Oprah Winfrey. She is an undeniable titan of media, a self-made billionaire, and a global icon. But her story is not one of a person who simply willed success into being. It is the story of a person who never stopped being grateful. Grateful for the chance to speak her truth, grateful for the platform to connect with others, and grateful for the opportunity to use her success to lift others up. She understands that her abundance is not just for her. It is meant to be shared. Her gratitude is the wellspring of her generosity, and her generosity is the source of her lasting impact. She didn't just get rich, she became a force for good, and that is a direct result of her unwavering gratitude. So, how do you cultivate this? It's not about forcing yourself to feel something you don't. It's about a daily practice. It can be as simple as keeping a gratitude journal, writing down 3 things you are genuinely grateful for every single morning. It can be a mental exercise, taking a moment at the end of each day to reflect on the blessings you experienced. It can be a simple thank you to a person who helped you, to a mentor who inspired you, or even to the universe for a new day. This practice, this discipline of gratitude will reprogram your mind. It will shift your focus from what's wrong to what's right. It will turn the hum of anxiety into a song of appreciation. And in this state of gratitude, you will find a quiet, unshakable confidence that is far more powerful than any external validation. You will begin to understand that you already have everything you need to become everything you are meant to be. The final and most profound step on this journey is to embrace the process of perpetual learning and adaptability. The world is not a static place. It is in constant motion, a swirling vortex of change, innovation, and disruption. The skills and knowledge that got you here will not be the skills and knowledge that get you there. The path is not a straight line. It is a winding, twisting, and often difficult road. And those who refuse to adapt will be left behind, just like the buggy whip manufacturers who fail to see the coming of the automobile. Think of Elon Musk. He is a man who operates on the fringes of what is possible, constantly pushing the boundaries of what is considered feasible. He is not a master of one industry, he is a master of learning. From space rocketry to electric cars, from solar power to neurotechnology, he has demonstrated a stunning ability to absorb and synthesize vast amounts of complex information. He is a walking testament to the power of a growth mindset, the belief that intelligence and ability are not fixed, but can be developed through dedication and hard work. He doesn't just adapt to change, he creates it. His entire life is a relentless pursuit of what's next, a refusal to be complacent, a fundamental belief that the future is not something you wait for, but something you build. This requires a certain kind of humility, the humility to admit that you don't know everything, the humility to be a student for life, the humility to learn from your mistakes and from the people around you, regardless of their age, title, or background. It means stepping outside of your comfort zone, embracing the discomfort of not knowing, and seeing every challenge as an opportunity to learn. So, what are you learning? What new skills are you acquiring? What new ideas are you exploring? Are you challenging your own assumptions? Are you willing to kill a good idea in order to pursue a great one? This is the work of a master, the willingness to burn down your own accomplishments in order to build something even better. It is the ultimate act of courage, and this courage is what will carry you through the inevitable storms of life, the layoffs, the market crashes, the personal setbacks, the moments where it feels like the universe is conspiring against you. When these moments come, and they will, you will have two choices. You can either retreat into your shell, cling to what you have, and let the world pass you by, or you can embrace the change, adapt your sails, and use the very force of the storm to propel you toward a new and even more exciting destination. Your ability to adapt is a direct reflection of your mental flexibility. It's the ability to let go of a plan that no longer serves you and to create a new one. It's the ability to see a setback not as a dead end, but as a pivot. It's the ability to reframe the narrative of your life from one of a person who survives to a person who thrives. The final piece of this puzzle is the understanding that this is not a destination. There is no finish line. The pursuit of greatness is a lifelong journey. It is a continuous process of learning, growing, and becoming. The master is not a title you earn. It is a state of being you embody. It is the willingness to wake up every single day and do the work, to face your fears, to pursue your purpose, and to live a life of unwavering conviction. So, what are you waiting for? Do you hear it? That low hum of anxiety, that whisper of fear, that little voice telling you to stay safe, to not take the risk, to not reach for the life you know you are meant to live? Do you hear it? Good, because now you know it for what it island. It is not your guide. It is a ghost from the past, a relic of a primitive mind that no longer serves you, a ghost you can finally choose to ignore. The world out there, the one you've been so afraid of, is not waiting to swallow you whole. It is waiting for you to create. It is waiting for you to act. It is waiting for you to bring your unique genius, your unique purpose, and your unique story to life. And the only thing standing in your way is your own perception. It's your own choice to focus on what's wrong instead of what's possible. It is the decision to live in a cage you built for yourself instead of flying free in a world that is limitless. So, let's stop talking about it. Let's stop reading about it. Let's stop watching and waiting. Let's start doing. Right now, today. Take that one first step. Make that one first call. Write that one first page. Do not wait for the perfect moment. Do not wait for a sign. Do not wait for permission. The time is now. The sign is you. And the permission is yours to give. Now, go and create. And yet, despite all this, despite the undeniable power of a clear vision and unwavering belief, there remains one critical, often ignored enemy of progress, the tyranny of the urgent. We are a society obsessed with business. We wear our exhaustion like a badge of honor, constantly reacting to a never-ending stream of emails, notifications, and perceived emergencies. We confuse motion with progress, and in the frantic pursuit of putting out fires, we never have the time to build a fire of our own. This constant state of reactivity is a direct result of that old survival instinct, the need to respond to every threat, every demand, every flicker of chaos in our environment. But in this modern world, where the threat is a text message and the chaos is a cluttered inbox, this instinct becomes a prison. It robs you of your time, your energy, and your focus, leaving you with a sense of frantic accomplishment but no real lasting impact. Think about the most impactful people in history. Did they spend their days simply reacting to what was thrown at them? Or did they create their own reality? Did they set their own agenda? Consider a man like George Washington. The challenges he faced were staggering a ragtag army, a divided population, a seemingly insurmountable foe in the British Empire. He could have spent every waking moment reacting to the latest skirmish, the latest desertion, the latest political infighting. But he didn't. He retreated. He took time to think, to strategize, to hold his ground at Valley Forge, not because it was easy, but because it was necessary. He prioritized the long-term vision of a free nation over the short-term panic of a failing army. His leadership was not a frantic sprint, but a disciplined strategic march. He understood that the most important work is rarely the most urgent. The challenge then is to distinguish between the two. The urgent demands your immediate attention. It is loud. It is insistent. It feels important. But the important work, the work that will move you toward your definite purpose, is often quiet. It is the deep work. It is the creative work. It is the strategic work. It is the work of building, not just reacting. It's the hour you spend writing that book, even when your phone is buzzing with notifications. It's the afternoon you dedicate to perfecting your craft, even when your inbox is full. It's the time you invest in your health, your family, and your inner world, even when the rest of the world is screaming for your attention. This requires a radical act of self-discipline. It requires you to create boundaries and to say no to the noise. It requires you to prioritize your purpose over the demands of the world. It means consciously choosing to be a creator, not a reactor. It means blocking out time in your calendar for your most important work and treating that time as sacred, as non-negotiable. This is where the concept of the mastermind takes on a new dimension. A mastermind is not just a group of people with a shared vision. It is a shared discipline. It is a collective commitment to protecting your time, your focus, and your energy. It is a pact to hold each other accountable, to ensure that you are all working on what is important, not just what is urgent. When you surround yourself with people who are also committed to their purpose, you create an environment where distraction is not just a personal challenge, but a collective failure. The group in its shared purpose becomes a shield against the tyranny of the urgent. So look at your day. Look at your week. Where are you spending your time? Are you a puppet on a string, constantly dancing to the tune of others' demands? Or are you the puppeteer, consciously directing your energy toward your own definite purpose? The answer to that question will tell you more about your future than any other. The great tragedy is not that we fail to achieve our dreams. It's that we never even begin to pursue them because we are too busy to notice that we are living someone else's life. And as you begin to reclaim your time and your focus, you will confront another formidable opponent, self-doubt. It is the silent killer of dreams, the whisper that tells you you're not good enough, not smart enough, not worthy enough. It is the voice that holds you back from making that sales call, from launching that product, from asking for that raise. It is the final boss of the mind, and you cannot defeat it with logic. You cannot reason with it, because it does not live in the realm of reason. It lives in the realm of emotion, in the shadows of your past, in the echoes of every person who ever told you that you couldn't. But self-doubt, like the survival instinct, is a phantom. It is a feeling, not a fact. And like any feeling, it can be managed, it can be navigated, and it can be overcome. The key is not to fight it, but to act in spite of it. To do the thing you are afraid of doing, not when you stop being afraid, but precisely because you are afraid. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is the mastery of it. Look at a man like Colonel Sanders. He started KFC at the age of 65, using his first Social Security check as seed money. He faced over 10 rejections before he found a single franchise. Think about that. Over 1,000 people told him no. They told him his idea was foolish, that his recipe was not special, that he was too old. The world, in its cynical wisdom, told him to quit. But he didn't. His belief in his purpose was stronger than the world's doubt, stronger than his own. He was a walking, breathing testament to the idea that age, rejection, and doubt are not barriers to success. They are just part of the process. This is a life lesson that goes beyond business and into the very core of what it means to be human. Every great artist, every great leader, every great innovator has stared into the face of their own self-doubt and said, "Not today." Every single one. There is no one, no matter how successful, who has a constant feeling of unshakable confidence. The difference is they have learned to build their dreams in the presence of fear. They have learned to act while the internal voice of doubt is still screaming. They have learned to separate their feelings from their actions, to be driven by their purpose, not their emotions. So, what is the one thing you're avoiding because of self-doubt? What is the one leap you know you need to take? Whatever it is, you must do it. Not because you feel ready, but because you are ready to be tested. The only way to silence the voice of self-doubt is to prove it wrong, one act of courage at a time. Every time you push through your fear, you are not just building a business or a career. You are building character. You are strengthening your resolve. You are showing yourself and the universe that you are a force to be reckoned with. And in that process, the voice of doubt will not be silenced, but it will lose its power. It will become a whisper, and then a faint echo. And one day, you will be too busy building your empire to hear it at all. And as you build, as you push past doubt and distraction, you will discover an incredible truth. Your external reality is a direct reflection of your internal world. This is not some abstract spiritual concept. It is a fundamental law of human psychology. Your thoughts create your feelings. Your feelings drive your actions. And your actions, over time, create your reality. If your internal world is filled with scarcity, fear, and negativity, you will inevitably create a life that reflects those things. You will find problems where there are none. You will see rejection where there is only an opportunity. You will attract people who mirror your own internal chaos. But if your internal world is filled with purpose, belief, and gratitude, you will begin to see abundance where others see lack. You will find solutions where others see only problems. You will see opportunity where others see only risk. And you will attract people who are also committed to their own growth and their own purpose. This is the power of a positive mental attitude, not as a flimsy slogan on a coffee mug, but as a ruthless, life-altering commitment to a single powerful idea that your mind is a garden and you are the gardener. Think about a man like Dale Carnegie. His book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, is one of the most successful books of all time. But its core message is not about manipulation or tricks. It is about a fundamental shift in perspective. It's about learning to see the world through the eyes of others. It's about finding the good in people, about genuinely caring, about being a person of value. Carnegie understood that the most powerful force in the world is not money or power, it is influence. And you gain influence not by demanding it, but by giving it away. You give it away by being a person who adds value, who sees the best in others, who lifts people up instead of tearing them down. This is the very essence of the law of attraction as described by me. It is not about wishing for things and waiting for them to appear. It is about becoming the person who deserves those things. It is about cultivating an internal world that is so full of purpose, so full of value, so full of positive energy that the external world simply has no choice but to align with it. It is about becoming a magnet for success by becoming a person of value. So, look inward. What is the landscape of your mind? Is it a beautiful garden filled with the seeds of your purpose, or is it a field of weeds choked by doubt, fear, and negativity? You have a choice in every single moment to either tend to the garden or let the weeds take over. And the work of tending to the garden is a daily practice. It's the conscious choice to feed your mind with books that inspire you, with podcasts that challenge you, and with people who lift you up. It's the daily act of filtering out the noise, the negativity, and the distractions that poison your internal world. This is the ultimate form of self-mastery. It is the ability to control your own thoughts. It is the discipline to choose your own feelings. It is the courage to create your own reality from the inside out. The world will always present you with challenges. It will always present you with reasons to be afraid, to be angry, to be small. But you have a choice. You can either react to the world or you can create your own. And in that choice, you will find the ultimate freedom. And so we arrive at the final, most profound and most empowering truth of all, that your journey is not just about you. It is about your legacy. It is about the impact you will have on the world long after you are gone. This is the ultimate motivator, the force that can lift you out of bed on the darkest mornings, that can push you through the most difficult challenges, and that can give meaning to every single step of your journey. Your purpose is not just to acquire wealth or to achieve fame. It is to use your life, your talents, and your gifts to leave the world a little better than you found it. Think of a man like Jonas Salk, the brilliant virologist who developed the polio vaccine. He could have patented his discovery and become unimaginably wealthy, but he didn't. When asked who owned the patent, he famously replied, "The people." I would say there is no patent. Could you patent the sun? His purpose was not personal gain. It was the eradication of a disease that had terrorized the world for generations. His legacy is not a bank account. It is the health and well-being of billions of people. Your legacy is not something you leave behind when you die. It is something you live every single day. It is in the quality of your work, in the integrity of your actions, and in the way you treat the people around you. It is in the way you show up day after day and do the hard, necessary work of living a life of purpose. It is the quiet, consistent act of being a person of value. So, what is the legacy you are building? What is the story you want to tell with your life? And are you living it today? Your journey is not just a quest for personal success. It is a sacred trust. It is a responsibility to use the gifts you've been given to serve a purpose greater than yourself. And in that service, you will find a level of fulfillment, a depth of meaning, and a sense of belonging that no amount of money or fame could ever provide. The world is not waiting for a hero. It is waiting for you. It is waiting for you to face your fears, to pursue your purpose, and to live a life of unwavering conviction. It is waiting for you to become the person you were always meant to be. And the first step, the one that changes everything, is the decision to start. To stop waiting for permission, to stop waiting for the perfect moment, and to simply begin. The future is not a place you are going. It is a place you are creating. And the time to create it is now. So, what are you going to do? What are you going to build? What are you going to become? The world is listening. The world is watching. And the world is waiting for your answer. But the journey, no matter how grand, is not a solo act. The myth of the lone wolf, the self-made man or woman who conquered the world on their own, is a lie. A beautiful, romantic, and utterly destructive lie. Every single person who has achieved anything of true significance has done so on the shoulders of giants. They have been mentored, supported, challenged, and inspired by others. They have surrounded themselves with a mastermind group, a collective of like-minded individuals who share a common purpose and a mutual commitment to success. Think of the PayPal Mafia, a group of young, ambitious, and brilliant minds who, after selling PayPal, went on to found or invest in some of the most transformative companies of our time: Tesla, LinkedIn, YouTube, SpaceX, Yelp. They weren't just colleagues. They were a network of trust, a shared ecosystem of ideas, a collective engine of innovation. They challenged each other, they supported each other, and they held each other accountable. Their individual success was a direct result of their collective strength. This is the power of proximity. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. It is a simple, brutal, and undeniable truth. If you surround yourself with people who complain, who make excuses, and who blame the world for their problems, you will inevitably become one of them. Their mindset will become your mindset. Their reality will become your reality. They will pull you down to their level, not because they are bad people, but because they are living in a state of scarcity and fear, and they will, consciously or unconsciously, want you to join them. But if you surround yourself with people who are driven by purpose, who are constantly learning and growing, and who are relentlessly pursuing their own vision, they will pull you up. Their energy, their ambition, and their conviction will become contagious. They will hold you to a higher standard. They will challenge your excuses. They will celebrate your victories, and they will help you up when you fall. They will become your mirror, reflecting back to you the person you are capable of becoming. So, look at your inner circle. Are they your champions or your anchors? Are they your cheerleaders or your critics? Are they adding to your life or are they subtracting from it? This is not about cutting people out of your life. It is about consciously choosing to spend your most valuable time with the people who are moving you forward. It's about seeking out mentors, finding collaborators, and building a tribe of your own. And it's about giving back. The greatest masterminds are not just about taking, they are about giving. They are a space where you can share your knowledge, your insights, and your resources with others. It's the understanding that your success is not just for you. It is a tool, a resource, a platform to lift others up, to help them on their own journey. When you become a person who is committed to the success of others, you become an unstoppable force. You become a leader. You become a creator of a new reality, not just for yourself, but for everyone around you. The myth of the self-made person is a lonely one. It suggests that you must conquer the world on your own, in isolation and solitude. But the truth is, the greatest accomplishments in human history have always been a collaborative effort. They have been the result of people coming together, uniting their minds, their talents, and their purpose to achieve something far greater than any one of them could have achieved alone. The legacy you build is not just your own. It is a collective legacy, a testament to the power of human connection, of shared purpose, and of unwavering support. And as you begin to embrace this collective power, you will confront another fundamental truth. The universe, in its grand design, is not a hostile place. It is a neutral one. It is not conspiring against you. It is simply reflecting back to you the energy you put out. This is not about good vibes or magical thinking. It is about a law as predictable and as reliable as gravity. What you focus on, you will find. What you believe, you will create. What you put out into the world, you will receive in return. If you approach the world with a sense of scarcity, you will find evidence of scarcity everywhere. The job market is too competitive. The economy is too unstable. The opportunity is too far out of reach. But if you approach the world with a sense of abundance, you will find evidence of abundance everywhere. New technologies are creating new industries. New problems are creating new opportunities. And new ideas are creating new realities. The world is not a fixed pie. It is a constantly expanding universe of possibility. Think of a man like Warren Buffett. He is a master of this principle. He doesn't panic during market crashes. He sees them as opportunities. He doesn't see a bear market as a disaster. He sees it as a clearance sale. His mindset is not one of fear, but of strategic long-term thinking. He understands that the very nature of the market is cyclical. It goes up, it goes down. And those who panic, those who react to the immediate chaos, are the ones who lose. But those who stay calm, those who have a long-term vision, those who are not afraid to invest when everyone else is selling, are the ones who ultimately win. His success is not a result of luck. It is a result of a mindset, a deep, unwavering belief in the fundamental principles of value and abundance. So, how do you cultivate this? It starts with your language. The words you use to describe your world are the very building blocks of your reality. Do you talk about your challenges as problems or as opportunities? Do you talk about your setbacks as failures or as lessons? Do you talk about your goals as wishes or as definite intentions? The words you use, both to yourself and to others, are a constant feedback loop. They are either empowering you or they are disempowering you. This is the power of affirmations, not as a meaningless repetition, but as a deliberate act of reprogramming your subconscious mind. It's about choosing the words that will move you forward, not the words that will hold you back. It's about speaking your vision into existence, not just thinking about it. And this extends to every part of your life. It extends to your relationships, to your work, to your health. A person who believes they are sick will find a way to stay sick. A person who believes they are healthy will find a way to get healthy. A person who believes they are a victim will find a way to stay a victim. A person who believes they are a creator will find a way to create. The universe, in its silent, impartial way, is constantly listening to your internal dialogue, and it is constantly responding to your deepest, most fundamental beliefs. It is not magic. It is the simple, undeniable truth that you get more of what you focus on. So, what are you focusing on? And is it serving your purpose? Is it moving you closer to your vision? Or is it keeping you stuck, holding you back, and trapping you in a cycle of fear and scarcity? The answer to that question is your starting point. It is your ultimate compass. It is the key to unlocking the full, limitless potential of your life. And so we arrive at the culmination of it all, the relentless, unwavering commitment to execution. The world is full of brilliant minds with incredible ideas. It is full of people with a clear vision, a powerful belief, and a tribe of support. But what separates the dreamers from the doers, the thinkers from the titans, is the ability to execute, to turn an idea into an action, to turn a vision into a reality, to turn a purpose into a legacy. Think of a man like Jeff Bezos. When he started Amazon, the idea of an online bookstore was almost laughable. The internet was a niche technology. The logistics of shipping thousands of books were a nightmare. The financial risks were staggering. But he didn't just have an idea. He had a bias for action. He started small, out of his garage. He focused on the customer. He iterated relentlessly. He made 1,000 mistakes. He faced 1,000 critics. But he never stopped. His entire philosophy, his entire company culture is built on the principle of execution. He famously said, you can have the best idea in the world, but if you can't execute, it doesn't matter. This is the final, brutal truth of success. It is not about knowing what to do, it is about doing it. It is about the daily grind, the unsexy work, the relentless pursuit of progress, one step at a time. It is about the discipline to show up, even when you don't feel like it. It is about the courage to fail, to get up, and to try again. It is about the unwavering conviction that your purpose is more powerful than your procrastination. This is where the grand philosophical ideas of yours truly become a gritty, day-to-day reality. This is where you prove to yourself that you are not just a person who talks about success. You are a person who creates it. This is where you become a force of nature. This is where you become a leader. This is where you become a master of your own destiny. And so the final question is not, what are you going to do? The final question is, what are you going to do today? What is the one thing you can do right now to move one step closer to your definite purpose, to turn your vision into a reality, to prove to yourself and to the world that you are not a victim of circumstance, but a creator of your own future? The answer is not in a book. It's not in a seminar. It is in you. It is in your courage, in your conviction, and in your relentless, unwavering will to execute. So what are you waiting for? The world is waiting. The time is now. The moment is yours. Go and create